and strips this thing with 12 hours to go. Garage door gone, appliances gone. Did break a few windows, threw all garbage and stuff in the backyard. And the icing on the cake, almost literally, is I don't know if he stood on the kitchen island or what he did, but he pissed all over the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? Really get it. So there's a special place in hell for this guy. I think the last one I did, which was just this January, was likely mortgage fraud. I'm assuming.
Darryl's eyes lit up there.
Yeah. So it's weird though. So it appeared, and this is, I only got involved in the last sale, right? I don't know the record of the property, but it appeared like the property went through foreclosure in construction. And then somehow the owner that owned it when we sold it was picked up the property and then also went through multiple foreclosures and then redeemed each time since then. And that was, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So this was kind of the final straw. This was
good for him.
I'm assuming that what they did is this last time they may have fraudulently got a mortgage somehow and then never paid to a big bank.
Oh boy.
To one of the big banks that may or may not have been covered in that news story 2 years ago.
Yep.
And then I guess, you just don't pay enough. He didn't even live in the house. It was tenanted house. Right. Anyway, so it goes to court. It was just a battle. If you want to hear about the battle, go listen to the Tom Story Show episode about it. And the craziest part was, don't do that.
The what?
The craziest
thing
part
on? Are you guys? Do you guys
craziest
see here?
part about
you guys
this whole thing
here,
is
right?
get this. So
Okay.
the tenant is in the property. The tenant is in the property. The tenant leaves, I want to say midnight the day before possession. So the property's already completed. But then the possession's the next day. The tenant tosses the keys back to the owner. Right? Which I guess he should do. I mean, he's not the owner.
Yeah.
The owner goes into the property and strips this thing with 12 hours to go. Garage door gone, appliances gone.
Yeah.
You name it, right?
Pipe,
Didn't do that. Did break a few windows, threw all garbage and stuff in the backyard. And the icing on the cake, almost literally, is I don't know if he stood on the kitchen island or what he did, but he pissed all over the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? Really get it. So there's a special place in hell for this guy.
Yeah.
But he tried to redeem the day before the court order. Like it was just a disaster. So I tell people stay away from all that stuff.
Yeah. You don't want to buy most power sales.
A power sale or a foreclosure when there's someone still in the unit.
Yeah.
The risk you're taking on isn't it? Like they can pour concrete down the drains on the day of possession and you have no recourse. And the bank is like, as is where is.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that guy was in trouble since 2017. He's been dealing with this thing. Right.
Yeah.
So, is there any of those missed payments and stuff yet? No, I am seeing investors closing, trying to sell properties after the fact. The cash flow is not there. The rental market's obviously coming down. And they're still just like, what do I do with this thing? So there is a spot where they're kind of trapped. They can't sell. They literally can't sell. Like, it's not like, how low do I need to go at this point?
But what type of product are we talking about here?
Mostly low-rise condos, wood frame, 6-story condos.
Oh.
And there's just a ton of them. Like they've all
like pre-construction flips?
They were pre-construction at the peak of the market. So they were 21, 20. They were likely 22. So top of the market, purchase.
What's that price point? Peak of market per square foot.
Don't per square foot me. It's a unit. It's a 2-bed unit and 2-bed, 2-bath unit. $700,000 to $800,000. Right. So it's a wood frame. Now it's ready, and now they're all completing at the same time. So they're all completing at the same time, and they're all competing for renters at the same time. So in this one area, then you get all these rents coming down too, because now there's 400 units for rent. Not a single person planned to move into these things.
So you're saying that right now, rents are coming down. That's definitely a thing.
Rents are
we're seeing that too. It's anecdotal sometimes, but then you see some of the data, but the data on rentals are a little bit behind. But I'm seeing it like pretty clearly when I look at buildings. I can see like what it was last rented for and what they're asking now, and it's down from a year
It's
Yeah,
ago.
kind of
so-
weird though, like when you get a condo with a bunch of investors that plan to rent it out, how people perceive it as, oh my God, there's all these units available for rent at the same time. If I had built a purpose-built rental building with the same amount of units that came online at the same time, all available, everybody would be like, oh, nice, there's some inventory in this building to look at, right?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, well, it should take, I don't know, a year to absorb.
What's the
all
absorption
of-
rate on a purpose-built rental? That's what I would want to know. That's a
Listen, the one I'm planning to build will be longer than a typical one downtown beside a subway. But
Yeah.
I think most people are using a year right now to lease up to at least where you anticipate where you're gonna be full.
Occupancy. Yeah.
Yeah, your top occupancy level, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? I mean, the more expensive, obviously, the longer it will take. But I just don't understand why it's like, I get why it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing for all the investors. But for the market, it's like it shouldn't be looked upon as any different than a building, a brand new building comes up with a bunch of purpose-built rental units.
Are you looking for the best merch store on the planet? Well, we got the shit for you. Coming in at low prices where we barely make any money off of whatsoever, you can get the greatest real estate merchandise on this platform. Just look at this very flamboyant man putting on this great stuff. He looks great, he's dancing great, and boy does he look sexy in that merchandise. I tell you, buy this for anybody, you buy this for yourself. You will be not only repping the greatest Canadian real estate podcast in this world, but you will also be looking hella good doing it.